running. He's got all day. He stays in bounds. Zach Wilson caught it. Zach Wilson gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. Oh my, do we have a lot to get into in today's stream? Because there's so many different rumors and speculations getting thrown around by the Jets beat, and it's getting crazy. 2 days into the NFL draft, until we can finally know who the hell the New York Jets will be drafting at number 4 and at number 10, or if they'll be trading any of those picks as well. 2 more days. It's going to be a lot of fun here on this channel leading up until the draft, and of course on draft night, where I will be live throughout the entire NFL draft here on Jets Media. So if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, make sure you smash that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy gets live on YouTube. And if you're enjoying the stream, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button so we get as many Jets fans and NFL fans in here to join the discussion about what the New York Jets will be doing in the NFL draft. So guys, there's 3 reports that I want to talk about on today's stream, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the live chat, of course. And if you're watching this on replay, feel free to comment down below your thoughts about all of these reports. So with that being said, let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's get into Rich Cimini's report. And before we get into these reports, I just want to say it's more rumors than confirmed reports. I don't really think that any of these beat reporters are going to give us false information. I don't expect Rich Cimini to put out something that's false. I know that you guys will be like, what? Rich Cimini's been doing that for so long. But I don't know. This seems pretty legit. DJ Bieniemy also has something interesting to say, and Connor Hughes dropped something interesting yesterday. And we do have a special guest on tomorrow's stream at noon, so mark your calendars. We're going to have DJ on the channel tomorrow, the day before the draft, to really break down what's going to be happening and what he's been hearing from league sources. So Rich Cimini had this to say today on Twitter. Despite Lynch saying he can't ever imagine trading Debo, I think they could for the right price. Jets still lurking. Ikey, Sauce, and Jermaine Johnson getting loudest buzz at 4. So this is kind of a double whammy here. We got the Deebo Samuel update and the update of who the favorites are at pick 4. So let's talk about the Deebo Samuel situation because that's definitely something to talk about. He also followed up this tweet with something else, I believe. Let me pull it up, because the whole Deebo Samuel situation is interesting because there's reports today that David Lynch is not going to be trading him. He's not going anywhere. But we will see. Rich Cimini quote tweeted this tweet saying, interesting how the Deebo situation has changed. A few days ago, it was there's no way they're trading him. Now it seems like the door is open a bit. So according to Rich Cimini, the door is opening up a little bit for the Deebo Samuel situation. I'm not really expecting Deebo Samuel to be traded, to be honest, because hearing David Lynch, what he had to say, I feel like the only way they're going to move on from Deebo is if they get blown away by an offer. And I'm not really expecting Joe Douglas to overpay and give up like number 10 in next year's first or number 10 in next year's second or a lot of draft capital. I feel like the only way the Jets get it done if they feel comfortable to give up draft capital that will not set this franchise back in terms of having enough ammunition, because we still have a lot of holes on this roster, as we all know. So the Deebo Samuel situation, keep an eye out for what the hell is going to happen with that. John Lynch. I know I said David Lynch. I don't know why I said that. It's my apologies. I corrected myself. But on the second part of this report, Rich Cimini says that Ikey, Ekwonu, Sauce Gardner, and Jermaine Johnson are getting the loudest buzz at pick number 4. So now this is interesting because this also follows up with the DJ report and the Connor report. So what DJ had to say, he posted an article today, so make sure you guys go check out DJ's article he wrote. He said that Jets GM Joe Douglas unlikely to pass on Ekwonu at number 4 if he is available. And then Connor has this to say. Joe Douglas and Jets' love of Jermaine Johnson more so than Kayvon Thibodeaux. I believe, based on what I've been told, he'd be picked over Kayvon Thibodeaux. Wow. So, this is pretty crazy, right? So, which one should we talk about first, right? Because, according to DJ, if Ekwonu is available at number 4, he's going to be the pick. Say Ekwonu goes top 3, and the Jets have a decision between Kayvon Thibodeaux, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, and others. Looks like Jermaine Johnson is a player that they are falling in love with. Jermaine Johnson, if you guys remember, was on the Jets Senior Bowl roster, so the New York Jets had an up-close personal perspective of him. They really got a good idea of his qualities on and off the field, and he had a really long visit at One Jets Drive a couple of weeks ago. Now, this doesn't shock me because, listen, I'm not an NFL draft scout. I'm not a coach. I'm not in the front office. I don't know anything about Kayvon Thibodeaux's character concerns. But the one thing I will say is if there truly are character concerns and issues with him off the field, and the New York Jets feel like he would not be fit their culture, then I always felt like it would not shock me if they pass on Thibodeaux for that exact reason. Now, again, I am not saying that it'd be the right move or the wrong move. I have no idea if Kayvon Thibodeaux's character or off the field or his fire or all the things that people are questioning are true or not. I don't know the guy. I've never talked to him, right? I only base it off interviews and what he does on the field. I don't get to speak to Kayvon Thibodeaux off the field like all these other people do. So, JJ's not 24. He's 23. But this is interesting because Jermaine Johnson is a player where if the front office decides to take him over Kayvon Thibodeaux, number one, it's going to piss off a lot of Jets fans. And it's going to be a really big risk because you're passing on the high-risk, high-reward guy for a guy that they really feel like will be a game changer. And the good news about Jermaine Johnson, in my eyes, is he fits this scheme beautifully. And if you go around NFL Twitter and you see all these former NFL players, look at this tweet from Marcus Spears. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see it. This tweet from Marcus Spears is interesting because a lot of people are high on Jermaine Johnson. All right, here we go. So, according to Marcus Spears, he says, I have Jermaine Johnson. Hold on, let me change his background. It's a little funky right now, guys. My apologies. There we go. I have Jermaine Johnson, the second best end in the draft, and it ain't far between him and Hutchinson. Like damn near even damn near even to my eyes. He's polished as a rusher more than any of them. Damn, I have him 1. I'm confused, but in a good way. And look who agrees with him. Damian Woody. So, it's pretty crazy. All of a sudden, Jermaine Johnson is becoming a player that not only the New York Jets are falling in love with, but people around the league are falling in love with. And Marcus Spears, I kind of respect his opinion. He's a successful former NFL, D lineman. So, that's really what I am here to talk about with you guys, and I really want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat about this. And listen, there's a lot of smoke, right? Meaning where there's going to be reports out there that might not be true. That's just trying to benefit the Jets. You can even say that whoever is telling these reporters this stuff is the opposite of what's actually going to happen, so it can make people believe that they're going one way, so it gives them a better opportunity to go the other way, right? So take all these reports and rumors with a grain of salt, but of course we're going to have to talk about these hypothetical scenarios because the draft is in 2 damn days. Man, 2 days. Guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. We got 20 likes with 75 of you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you are indeed just tuning into the channel and the show and if not already, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to all the shows and showing Jets Media some love. It means a lot to the channel. I love getting all NFL fan bases in here talking their smack. We got another Niners fan in here from yesterday. He loves talking smack for the Jets for whatever reason. But we'll see what happens. Now, this from Julian is something I feel like could be happening. Now, I don't know if JJ will be there at 10, but based on all these reports and all these rumors, I feel like this might be the best case scenario in the eyes of Joe Douglas. Now, the big question regarding Ikey Ekwonu is what is going to happen with Mekhi Becton or George Fant? It's really interesting to see what's going to happen if the New York Jets do get Ekwonu, because Ekwonu is a very good prospect. And the question about Ekwonu is the New York Jets are not drafting him to, sit on the bench. That's for sure. If we're drafting Ekwonu, he's playing this year. But what happens with Mekhi Becton? We saw some crazy report this morning that some people around the league anticipate Mekhi Becton not play another snap with the Jets. I do not believe that one bit. I mean, I could be wrong. All of a sudden, Mekhi can be off the Jets and traded by draft night if we draft Ekwonu. I have no idea. But I think that's smoke. I do not believe that. Because, number one, Becton doesn't really have a lot of trade value right now coming off a, lost season with that knee injury. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But if the Jets do come away with Ekwonu and Jermaine Johnson in the first round, I think the New York Jets got two blue-chip trench players on both sides of the ball. So, really interesting stuff. And now getting into this, I know that the Jets probably love Jermaine Johnson. But if they pass on him, if they pass on Thibodeaux for Johnson, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And there's other reports saying that Sauce Gardner, a lot of people around the league, Daniel Jeremiah has him mocked to the Jets. And Sauce Gardner is one of the three players that's gaining the most buzz for the New York Jets to draft him at number 4. Me personally, I don't expect Sauce Gardner to be the pick. Now, if he is the pick, would I be happy? Absolutely. I love Sauce Gardner. Give me the sauce, baby. I feel like he is a generational prospect at that position. But hearing what Joe Douglas said about the cornerback position when he was interviewed on the Michael Kay show and interviewed at the press conference, it just doesn't seem like he values the cornerback position, especially where this roster looks with DJ Reed and Bryce Hall as much as others. Especially with the scheme that Robert Saleh has here. You don't really desperately need a corner like Sauce. It's all about getting to the quarterback, which makes me believe that they prefer to get a pass rusher. Now, what if Ekwonu and Thibodeaux and Johnson go in the top 3 somehow? Well, Johnson's not going in the top 3 for sure, but I feel like the Texans are going to be the wild card pick right before us to see what. I have no idea what they're going to do. But there's so many different scenarios that you can come up with in your head of who the hell is going to be the pick at number 4 for the New York Jets. Joey says some experts believe Jermaine Johnson has the best bend and is only scratching the surface at this point in his career. Listen, I am all on Jermaine Johnson. He's been my favorite player ever since the Senior Bowl, to be honest. I fell in love with him. I dove deep into his tape. I dove deep into everything about Jermaine Johnson, and I've been pounding the table for him, and I said I would not be shocked if he's the New York Jets pick at number 4. But in my eyes, that pick would be if Thibodeaux and Hutchinson are off the board. But now we're seeing different things, where the Jets might take Jermaine Johnson at 4 over Kayvon Thibodeaux. Now that's some interesting stuff. I think I saw my boy Ali in the chat a couple of minutes ago, but I didn't get to it. Where was that little loyal NY Jet fans? I think I missed him. What up, Ali? Hope you're doing well, buddy. I miss you. Hopefully you can get on the channel soon. But I don't I can't get your comment on the screen because I don't know where it is. I'm looking for it right now. But if you're still watching, Ali, let me know. Oh, here it is. Look at Fire as usual, Richie. You're the man, Ali. Pull up. Pull up to the stream. So, another thing about Deebo Samuel I want to talk about is if they are trading him, today would be the day in my eyes. I'm not really expecting a Deebo Samuel trade to the Jets because I feel like it's unlikely for many reasons. Just in terms of Lynch not wanting to give up Deebo Samuel if it's not for a king's ransom. And I don't think Joe Douglas is going to offer a king's ransom. I think that they want multiple firsts. And if I'm the Jets, I offer 10, and that's it, and offer a contract. And if it gets done, it gets done. You're basically flipping the 10th overall pick for a bona fide star receiver instead of taking one that we don't know if he's going to be good, like a Drake London or Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams or all those guys. Obviously, we all love the prospects in the draft, but there's a big difference between drafting a rookie and trading that pick for a big-time player that's established. So I'm not really going to, expect Deebo Samuel to be traded to the Jets. That is something that's more of a pipe dream for me, where if it happens, I'll be jubilant and I'll be live screaming my head off. But you never know, because Rich Tamini just reported saying that the door is still open and the Jets are still lurking. That makes me a little giddy. That gets me a little giddy. Can Joe Douglas pull off a magic trick? He's done it before. So all these reports, guys, listen, it's just perfect for someone. It's a perfect topic point for us to have a conversation about what's going to happen on the Jets. Just because I'm talking about the reports does not mean all these reports are 100% true. Okay? Just because Connor Hughes said that the Jets will pass on Thibodeaux for Jermaine Johnson does not mean that it's guaranteed that the New York Jets are going to pass on Thibodeaux for Jermaine Johnson. Just because DJ said that Ekwonu is going to be the pick if he's available at 4 does not mean that Ekwonu will be the pick if he's available at 4. These are all reports, and I'm just live right now to go talk about all these reports to give you guys the latest rumors and have an open discussion and have an open conversation with you guys about what to expect, because it's about to get pretty wild in New York Jets world. Like, Sauce Gardner is a player where I just love, but I just don't expect him to be the pick at 4. And there's no way he's fallen to 10. Feel me? Your thoughts of Bo Melton. I love Bo Melton. I feel like he flashed at the Senior Bowl. I would like him in the 4th or 5th round as well. What up, Willie? I want McLaurin. He has had 8 different quarterbacks thrown to him and putting up those stats, and he may be the cheapest trade option. I don't know if Washington's interested in trading him, but I'd be down. That Elijah Moore in a first for Deebo wasn't real, correct? Nah. The Jets are they're not moving Elijah Moore. He's untouchable. That trade scenario that I saw, I think I know what you're talking about, AJ. I was like, are you kidding me? And there's 49ers fans saying they wouldn't do it. I was like, okay. I think it was like number 10, 35, and Elijah Moore for Deebo Samuel. No shot am I doing that. That would be idiotic. That's a Nope. So in JD we trust, guys. Listen, Joe Douglas did a phenomenal job last year in the NFL draft by getting 4 potential cornerstone players on offense and then 6 players on the defensive side of the ball that are going to develop, be part of the future. Now, what is he going to do in this year's draft? Yes, I will be streaming the draft, Willie, so you guys make sure you tune in. I'll be live throughout the entire draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here on Jets Media. So if you want to tune in, say what's good in the chat so we can see, watch each other's reactions. There's going to be a lot of other streams all across YouTube, of course. So feel free to tune into mine, tune into Ryan, Jet Talk, and Matt O'Leary and Green Bean, of course. And I'll be live, man. I'll be live. I think JD is going to trade back into the late first for Dax Hill. I love Daxon Hill. I feel like he'd be a really good player, a really good fit for this New York Jets defense. And I'm fully expecting, if we do not trade for a player like Deebo, for the New York Jets to trade back into the first round and come away with 3 first-round picks. He can even get even more creative by trading back from 4 or trading back from 10, acquire capital, and then trade back into the first round and do 2 trades in one night. Like, Joe Douglas can do everything. Richie dripping with the OG hat. Thanks, Dave. This is my favorite hat. Dax Hill's a bust. I don't know. I love Dax Hill personally. I love Dax Hill. Willie, appreciate you being in the chat for the draft. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Every analyst has Sauce at 4. I say they trade back 10 for 2 ones and pick an edge or wide receiver. Yeah, this is crazy. You look around all the NFL analysts on, social media, or what do you ever call it? NFL Network, ESPN, all the talk shows, and most of the people have the Jets getting Sauce at 4. Now, that means nothing, right? They're not Joe Douglas, but it really makes you wonder if that's a really big opportunity and a really big scenario where the Jets could be getting him. And according to Rich Cimini, Sauce is one of the 3 players that they are contemplating at number 4, excuse me. This is a good question from Christian. Where do you stand on cornerback? Personally, don't want one in the top 40. I personally think that the cornerback position is not that big of a need as many people think it is. We signed DJ Reed, and we have Bryce Hall coming off a pretty darn good season. And Brendan Eccles being that depth option behind them, with Michael Carter II coming off a really good rookie season. I like Bryce Hall. Now, can you make the argument that Sauce Gardner is a way better player than Bryce Hall? 100%. I don't think that's an argument. I think that's a fact. But what I'm trying to say is cornerback is not that much of a need compared to the edge. Edge is way bigger need. We do not have a bona fide edge on this roster outside of Carl Lawson, who's coming off a torn Achilles. John Franklin Myers, I prefer him being on in the inside and getting a bona fide edge in the draft, like your Jermaine Johnson or a Thibodeaux. So I just feel like the cornerback position is getting blown up where it feels like a big-time need more than it is. Now, I don't know if you guys watched my mock draft video that I posted the other day, but I'm going to put on the screen my mock draft, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about my mock that I did. I posted on my channel yesterday, so if you guys watched it, you guys saw it. If you didn't, here it is. All right, so here's my mock, guys. What is your letter grade if this is the mock? And again, this is without trades, so expect trades to happen. But what's your thoughts about this mock draft? Now, Kayvon Thibodeaux's the pick at 4, and there's a lot of smoke saying that he's not going to be the pick at 4. I don't know, right? But let me know your thoughts of this mock. I personally, I love it. You're getting your edge at 4. You're getting your receiver for the future. Jameson Williams is probably is my favorite receiver in this entire draft. I know that he's coming off a torn ACL, but I feel like for the long haul, he'll be okay. He's ahead of schedule, and I just absolutely love him. Tyler Linderbaum at 35. He fell to me in the simulator, and I cannot pass on him. There's a lot of buzz around Tyler Linderbaum falling into the second round or potentially back end of the first round. And if he's on the clock at 35, bro, you draft that man. You absolutely draft him. And then Jalen Petrie, I really loved him in the Senior Bowl. I feel like he is a safety that can complement Jordan Whitehead. I know they have similar play styles, but I just really like Jalen. I prefer a guy like Brisker, but he wasn't available when I was on the clock. Darren Kennard is an offensive tackle. That'll be the swing tackle. Brandon Smith, linebacker, more of a depth piece, a developmental option. Jeremy Ruckert, the tight end 3. Kobe Bryant would be that cornerback that we develop behind Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles, and DJ Reed. And then Tyler Algier is the complement running back to Michael Carter. So hope you guys enjoyed this mock draft. I'm going to come out with a mock draft with trades on the channel soon. Thoughts on KT at 4, best player available at 10. Trade both second rounders for Samuel. I would love this. I would love getting Thibodeaux at 4. I would love taking the best player available at 10 and then trading both second rounders for Debo. I do feel like the only way we're getting Debo is if we include that 10th overall pick, because the 49ers are going to want to take a swing at a receiver to replace Debo at 10. Even though we did package both seconds and a third for Tyreek and it was accepted. But I don't know. I really do like I like this. Sign me up. Your mock draft is an A+ and would love every one of those players. Thank you, Joey. I hope it happens, but we'll see. I love Ruckert. He's a Jets fan. Yes, sir. He grew up on Long Island like myself. Jets fan. Hopefully that happens, but we'll see. Good draft, but I don't think Linderbaum there at 35 and Rucker too. Yeah, I mean, I based this off of who's available on my simulator draft, and I know it's a long shot that Linderbaum is available at 35, but there is a lot of buzz that there's some players that are going to fall out of the first round. We saw it last year. Elijah Moore was supposed to be a first-round pick, and the New York Jets somehow got him at pick 34. Man, were we lucky. The Jets were going to take Elijah Moore at 23 last year, remember, if we did not trade up for Elijah Vera-Tucker to pick 14. So that tells you how much they valued Elijah Moore, and that also tells you that every single year there's first-round talent that falls out of the first round into the second. And we are so lucky to have 2 early second-round picks to take advantage of that. Go Mets, baby. Yes, sir. I love GM. So I'm really excited for the draft. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all these reports, about all these takes from Rich, DJ, and Connor talking about where the Jets are going to go in the NFL draft. If you guys are enjoying the stream, I would greatly appreciate you guys smashing that thumbs up button for your boy. We got 43 likes with over 100 of you guys tuning in. So the goal for the end of the stream is 100 likes. So if you guys can smash that thumbs up button, I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys just taking time out of your day to hit that like button. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm to get as many Jets fans in the chat, as many NFL fans in here in the chat to talk some smack, so we can talk some smack back, because the Jets are on the rise and they all can hate all they want, because the vision is coming to fruition, baby. Allow them to hate. Don't let them get under your skin. Most expert scouts mock Sauce to the Jets, but I believe Derek Stingley is higher on the Joe Douglas's draft board. I personally think that Stingley might be a better fit for the Jets in terms of scheme and play style. But I don't know if the Jets are going to take that risk, because Stingley, if you saw what he did as a true freshman at LSU, it was ridiculous. But the big question with him is injury. And do you want to take an injury-prone guy who's coming off a really bad injury, where this Jets team has suffered injury for a long time? Right? That's what I'm saying. I think it's JJ, unfortunately, at 10. I mean, honestly, we may trade up with the 10th. Don't say unfortunately, man. Jermaine Johnson is not a bad player to take at 4. I promise you that. If Jermaine Johnson's the pick at 4, I'm pretty pumped up. We got our edge rusher. Now, it's not guaranteed he's going to be a star, obviously, but I absolutely love everything that Jermaine Johnson brings to the table. He's not only a really good player that can get to the quarterback, but he also excels in the run game. He can do both. We don't want to just get a pure pass rusher. We need to be able to stop the run and get to the quarterback. Jermaine Johnson is 23 years old, and we're basically getting him as a win-now move. Let's do it. Jermaine Johnson just turned 23 years old in January. So this entire season, his rookie year, will be 23. The Jets should take Stingley if he's there at 10. I think this is a Patriots fan saying this. But listen, I feel like it's possible. It really depends on I prefer a wide receiver, to be honest, than Stingley at 10. I prefer Jamison Williams. I prefer Garrett Wilson or Drake London. JMO at 10 for sure, but we will see. Jets fans pass on Jermaine Johnson so my Falcons can draft him at pick 8. No, Tony Wright. I don't want that to be the case. I want Jermaine Johnson on the Jets. How about this? Ekwonu at 4, Jermaine Johnson at 10, and the Falcons pass on him. That would be pretty crazy. That would be getting 2 big-time blue-chip players in your trench unit in the same draft in the first round, and then maybe you can trade back into the first round and get a receiver, like a Christian Watson or something at 35, or trade back in. But then the big question is, if we do draft Ekwonu, what the hell happens with George Fant or Mekhi Becton? Because the whole idea behind drafting Ikey Ekwonu, like if you look at the depth chart, we don't need a tackle. But we don't need a tackle for this season. We're going to need a tackle for the future because George Fant's entering his contract year where he's a free agent. So Joe Douglas has his eyes set on the 2023 depth chart, the 2024 depth chart, and that's why I think it's a strong possibility that Ikey Ekwonu could still be the pick at number 4. So we will see, man. Do I believe in Thibodeaux? I do believe in Thibodeaux. I feel like his talent's undeniable. I feel like his fire is there. His passion for the game is there. You know, I am not someone to be able to comment on his off-the-field stuff or his character concerns or any of that stuff. I just don't know him personally. So, but if he does fall in the draft for those reasons, then I feel like there is a reason behind it. And if he doesn't fit the Jets culture in terms of what they're trying to do, getting the right people in the building with the right mindset, and they feel like Jermaine Johnson has a better mindset and more potential, then I trust the Jets. I trust their decision there. But I would love the Jets to draft Thibodeaux at 4 as well. Albert with a $2 super chat. Min wins, keep JD Sala off the hot seat. I would say minimum 6. I feel like if we have a 5-win season, it's going to get pretty heated up. Even 6 wins would be pretty bad as well. But I don't know. I feel like, me personally, unless they just absolutely suck and they get like 1 or 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, there's no way either of these guys would be on the hot seat because you got to give them at least a 3-year window to build this team. You can't be quick and pull the plug and be on the continuous carousel of new coaching staff and new front office. You need continuity. You need to give these guys a chance to have the long-term vision in place. The only way they're on the hot seat is if they just absolutely everything blows up. Everyone stays healthy, but everyone just shits the bed. Zach Wilson looks like a bust. The defense cannot stop a nosebleed, and that's the only way that happens. But even if we don't really, match our expectations this year, I don't expect either of them to be fired because you cannot pull the plug and expect a brand new regime and a brand new coaching staff come in here and just turn things around right away. You got to be able to have continuity and give these guys a shot. Like this year, I don't really expect to go to the playoffs, but I'm expecting to be playing meaningful games in December and go to the playoffs the year after this. Is that wishful thinking or what? That's all I want, man. I just want competitive Jets football. But guys, I see a lot of new people tuning into the show. I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're just tuning in for the first time, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button on your way into the show to help me get to my 100 like goal. Really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. I see a lot of Zach Wilson slander in the chat. The one thing I will say about Zach Wilson is it is way too early to call Zach Wilson the franchise quarterback, and it's way too early to call Zach Wilson a bust. You have no right to call that man a bust or call him the franchise quarterback. He has not shown enough yet. In 13 games, it was a tale of 2 seasons. First half of the year, he looked absolutely atrocious. 9 turnovers in 4 games. Second half of the year, amazing. 9 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, almost beating Tom Brady, and being one of the only quarterbacks along with Aaron Rodgers to not throw an interception in the final 5 games of the season. So what I'm trying to say is he had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, So I think it's too early to call him a bust or call him a franchise guy. In my eyes, we need to see another season before you can claim them both. Jose says, Niner fan here. Y'all want Deebo? We will take 2 Snicker bars and a Pepsi. Your 10th pick. I'll give you the 10th pick for Deebo. I'm down. I'll give you 10th pick straight up and give him a contract. Boom. Done. Game over. Deebo's a Jet. I'm down for that, but I don't really see it happening, to be honest. Zach Wilson's the man. He looks like he bulked up in the offseason. You see his promo vids? Of course I've seen his promo vids. Zach Wilson's definitely putting on some muscle. He's growing into his body a little bit. And he's about to prove a lot of people wrong, baby. So, listen, according to Rich Cimini, if you guys are just tuning into the show for the first time, and I want to give you guys a little update on what we've been talking about. Rich Cimini, who's a Jets beat reporter of ESPN for a while. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Again, just because he says this doesn't mean it's guaranteed going to happen. But Rich Cimini says, despite Lynch saying he can't ever imagine trading Deebo, I think they could for the right price. The Jets are still lurking. Also, he follows it up by saying Ikey, Sauce, and Jermaine Johnson getting the loudest buzz at 4. Pretty interesting stuff. So the Deebo Samuel stuff is still happening, right? Even though Lynch said that he does not want to move on from him, he has a really big decision to make for a multitude of reasons. Now let's pivot to some Deebo Samuel talk. How about that? Because I see a lot of Niners fans in here. So Deebo Samuel demands a trade. The 49ers don't want to trade him, but Deebo doesn't want to be in San Francisco. For whatever reason that is, I have no idea. He doesn't want to be used as a running back. He just wants to be a pure wide receiver. Whatever the problem in San Francisco is, he wants out, and that's obvious. So the 49ers have a really, really big decision to make here, because if they do not trade Deebo before the NFL draft, and if Deebo holds out and he doesn't want to sign an extension, he doesn't want to play for them, it's going to get ugly. And then they're going to have to be forced to trade him away for picks in the following year's draft. So Lynch has a really big decision to make, where if they really figure out and talk to Deebo's camp and say, hey, are you sure you don't want to make this work? Are you sure you don't want to stay here? We'll pay you right now. And if Deebo continues to say, nope, I want to change the scenery, I want to go elsewhere, then that's where Lynch is going to have to make his decision and trade Deebo to the Jets preferably, right? So a package that I would be open to of trading Deebo Samuel to the Jets is definitely the 10th overall pick being included. The Jets are lucky enough to have the 10th overall pick, as well as the 4th overall pick, as well as two picks in the top end of the second round, with a bunch of cap space available and 9 total picks in this draft. The San Francisco 49ers also do not have a first-round pick, so that will be a little enticing for them. They can get into the first round. Oh, we can trade Deebo for a 10th pick, and we could replace him with a player like Jameson Williams or Garrett Wilson or Drake London. You never know. And now this is a big thing about the Deebo scenario that Albert brings up in the Super Chat. Kyle and Lynch want too much, more than the 10th. Facts. That is the thing where I feel like Deebo will probably not be a Jet, is because they really want a king's ransom for him. And I feel like Douglas is good at negotiating, is really good at trades. But if they're asking for a little bit too much, Joe Douglas will say, all right, we'll draft our own guy, hold on to our capital, and we'll get Jameson Williams in the building, or Drake London, or Garrett Wilson, or Chris Olave, or one of these receivers, that whoever they fall in love with. Now, the reason why I personally feel like it would be smart and the Jets could afford to give up a 10th pick while giving up a lot of a big contract to him is because the window for the Jets to win with Zach Wilson on a rookie contract is pretty small. And we could afford giving up the 10th pick and still having a bunch of draft capital to fill out this roster. And we could afford giving Deebo Samuel a contract that's $25 million for the next 3 or 4 years. Because you're getting Deebo Samuel for his entire prime. He's 26 years old, so you have a 26 to 30-year window of good Deebo Samuel. And you're also giving your young quarterback a bona fide star player. And the one thing about the New York Jets that's not a shocker to any of you is the Jets don't have a star on this roster. We're hopeful that we have stars in the making, like Elijah Moore could be one. Michael Carter, I feel like, could be a star, right? But we don't have that bona fide superstar talent. If you want the New York Jets to take that next step and be competitive in the AFC, you need to get superstar players, superstar talent on the roster, and Deebo Samuel does just that. What the New York Jets have done the past couple of seasons, and especially what Joe Douglas has done, is set up this franchise for this exact moment to be able to afford to trade top-tier capital and pay a player when he becomes available. Hypothetically speaking, if the Jets did not do the Jamal Adams trade, if they did not do the Sam Darnold trade, and we only have our own first pick, our own second pick, we would not be able to trade for Deebo Samuel. But the reality is the Jets have 2 top 10 picks. The Jets have 2 picks in the top end of the second round. Therefore, the New York Jets are in a really good position to be able to afford to overpay for a player and not set the franchise back. That's basically what I'm saying and why I'd be open to the idea of trading for Deebo Samuel. Because if you give up number 10 for Deebo, you're essentially trading Jamal Adams for Elijah Vera Tucker and Deebo Samuel. It's that simple. You're trading a box safety who's a good player in Jamal for a franchise guard and a franchise receiver. That's awesome. And we can use Deebo all over the field. We also have Mike LaFleur as our offensive coordinator who's familiar with Deebo, and they have a really good relationship. So it's going to be interesting to see as well. Let me know your thoughts about the Deebo situation. You guys want him? You guys want to stay away from him? I know that it's like 50-50 for Jets fans, honestly. MacArthur says, any Jet fan saying give up the 10th pick and give him $25 million a year is a nut. I guess I'm a nut. Deebo don't want to play running back no more. Yeah, well, I think he's a darn good wide receiver. And the wide receiver position is becoming a premium. Wild Wave says, I want Deebo. He's proven. Are you talking about me, Dylan, that I said I love more? I do love more. Now, if you're referring to me, let me talk about this real quick. My obsession of getting Deebo Samuel and my eagerness to get another receiver and my eagerness to get a receiver at number 10 has absolutely nothing to do with Elijah Moore not being a future potential number 1 receiver on this team. The New York Jets need to surround their young quarterback with a lot of weapons. Not just one good weapon, not just 2 good weapons, but 3 or 4. Joe Burrow has 3 number 1 receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Taj Boyd. He also has CJ Uzomah. And hey, now we have CJ Uzomah. Thank you very much, Cincinnati. Just because I think Elijah Moore can develop into a star does not mean we should shy away from getting a guy in Deebo Samuel or a guy for someone else. Elijah Moore is a dog. So your take wasn't meant for me, but I still want to get that off my chest anyway, Dylan. I appreciate you. Deebo does sell tickets, which is probably why Woody Johnson's telling Joe Douglas, you better make this move, Joe. We need more tickets. We need more profit. We need more revenue for the New York Jets organization. So Joe Douglas, bring in Deebo Samuel so we can sell out MetLife Stadium and I can make more money because that's all I care about. I don't care about the Jets winning. I'm just kidding. But Elijah is a future star. Yes, he is. You can get both Adams and Hill for less than 4 and 10. Go ask the Rams why they picked up Allen Robinson even though they have Kupp. Exactly. That's my point. What up, John? John says we could find playmakers in the draft. Thibodeaux does not have any elite physical traits. His production is heavily dependent on scheme and play calling. Well, that is true. There is a lot of scheme involved and personnel involved with the Deebo Samuel success. But I also feel like he is a weapon where you can give him the ball in space and he can make something happen. He can take the ball to the house. You saw in the playoffs against the Rams, I believe, or I forgot which team it was, maybe the Cowboys, where it was a very low-scoring game, and they just gave Deebo the ball on a quick screen pass, and he just takes it to the house. Deebo has that potential, man. He has it. He's proven it. And I took Deebo in my fantasy draft this year, so I do have a little love for him. Albert with another $2 super chat says, can we make Treylon Burks into Deebo light? Deebo light. I'm expecting. I'm like, I can't even speak. He makes me not be able to speak. If there was a player to compare to Deebo Samuel in the draft, it would be Treylon Burks. But Deebo is so unique where you cannot really say, oh, this is the next Deebo. This is the next Deebo. In terms of usage, we can use Treylon Burks like a Deebo Samuel, yes. But there's not going to be another Deebo Samuel. He's a very unique player, which is why I want him. And I think Deebo does have elite traits, by the way. You don't put up those historic numbers without having elite traits. You look like a young Richie Kotite with that hat. Is this an insult? Am I one of the worst head coaches of all time? I'm just kidding. Deebo's brother posted another cryptic tweet. Did he really, Dylan? Let me see this cryptic tweet. I'm all for the cryptic stuff. This is what fuels me. Rob says, stop being scared to get big-time guys. Deebo is a beast. Point blank, period. If you think otherwise, then you're just scared and you act like draft picks are guarantees and not the best track record. Rob, I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is what I'm trying to say, man. The Jets have sucked. For how long, guys? Do I have to remind you? Why are we shying away from stars becoming available, especially when we have the ammunition to get it done? That's what I don't get. The Jets need stars. The Jets need difference makers. The Jets need a player to take this franchise to another level. And that's what Deebo Samuel would do. I agree with you, Rob. He just said, get out your city, homie. They're not going to support you. Okay, so this is Deebo Samuel's brother's tweet. Probably means nothing, but we'll see. We needed Tyreek. Yeah, it's all good, though. He chose the Dolphins. I'm past that. Let's get Deebo. Let's roll, baby. Get Deebo if you can, for sure. Yo, Richie, 1 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Nice. With that said, JD overpaid for Deebo. More likely he keeps 10 and trades 35, 38, 69 when he can trade 10 to back if necessary. Yeah, I feel like I would prefer to trade 35, 38, 69 than 10 personally, and I feel like 35, 38, 69 could get it done. So we'll see, man. Deebo is not Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill. You're right. Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill has been in the league longer. They're veterans, and they've been productive years, like for multiple years in a row. Deebo Samuel only has 1 year of elite production, but he's also only been in the league for 3 years, and he's only 26. So I feel like the best is yet to come for Deebo, personally. You're right, though. I don't think he is on the level of Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying he's going to get there. With Deebo on the Jets would definitely terrify all the D coordinators in the AFC East finally. I agree, man, because can you imagine the Jets offense with Deebo Samuel, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, Denzel Mims, CJ Uzomah, Tyler Conklin, Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman. Now, that's not a top 5 offense or top 10 offense on paper, but that is a darn good offense. And it all hinges on Zach Wilson, obviously. But I got confidence in Mike LaFleur getting those people open. I have confidence in the offensive line protecting and creating holes in the run game. This New York Jets team, and I've said it on this channel for so long, needs a star receiver through the trade market if they want to unlock this offense this year to be able to go toe-to-toe with the other offenses in the NFL, especially in the AFC Conference. Because what getting a true bona fide number one receiver does, and not one through the draft, I'm talking about an established veteran. What getting an established veteran receiver that's been in this league before does for this offense is astronomical for a multitude of reasons. It's not only just going to help Zach Wilson out, but it's going to open up Elijah Moore. It's going to open up Corey Davis. Corey Davis is probably one of the most wild card players on this offense because you saw what Corey Davis did with the Tennessee Titans the year before he hit free agency and signed with the Jets. Corey Davis had a season that was phenomenal, and that was with A.J. Brown being his number one receiver next to him. Corey Davis thrives the most when there's a player to take all the pressure off of him. Corey Davis is a great number 2 receiver. He's not a good number 1 receiver, and we saw that evidence this season. Does that make sense? That's why we need a big-time receiver, because Elijah Moore, going into year number 2, I don't want to throw all the pressure at him saying you need to be the guy to carry this offense and be the number 1 receiver in year number 2. I think he has the ability to do that, but I'd rather him not have that burden. I'd rather that burden be to a player we pay big-time money, and it opens up Elijah Moore over the middle. It opens up Corey Davis on the outside. It gives Braxton Berrios more opportunities and allows Deebo Samuel to get all the targets he needs. That's my mindset when it comes to this Jets team, man, on the offense. Albert with another $2 super chat. Scary Terry, better value. He had a crappy quarterback, too. I mean, the problem with Scary Terry is he's not available. You know what I mean? I would love Terry McLaurin, but there's no report saying that Terry and the Washington Commanders are looking to be moving on. I mean, we got to keep an eye out for it because he is entering the last year of his contract, just like A.J. Brown and DK and Deebo Samuel. I agree. If he becomes available, the Jets should go all in on him, 100%. I love Corey Davis. People crush him for last year, and he was good. Couple drops, whatever. I agree. I do feel like Corey Davis' season last year is a little blown out of proportion in a negative light. He started off the season with 2 touchdowns. He was Zach Wilson's go-to guy. He had a couple drops, and then he got injured for the year. You know, if Corey Davis did not get hurt, he would have finished the season with 1,000 yards. So imagine what Corey Davis would do if healthy with adding another big-time receiver next to him like Deebo. I don't need to say anything else than that. Sadly, the Niners aren't going to trade him because Lynch wants drama and don't want to move on, but we got the draft to get a receiver. That's funny. And that brings me to my next point that I've said over and over again on this channel as well. The best thing about this whole situation, guys, that if we do not land Deebo Samuel, plan B is not that bad. Plan B is getting a big-time receiver in the draft. That being Jameson Williams or Garrett Wilson or Drake London or Treylon Burks or Christian Watson or Chris Olave. All those guys I just mentioned will be a New York Jet if we do not land Deebo Samuel. So we will be adding a receiver to this unit by Thursday, whether that's Deebo or receiver. And that's why the New York Jets are in such a great position where it's not like we have to be super, super desperate for Deebo, where it's like, holy crap, if we do not get Deebo, it is the end of the world. This Jets team is going nowhere. Garrett Wilson would be a stud on this Jets team. Jameson Williams would be an absolute stud. I know some people are scared of Jameson Williams because of his injury, but I am all okay for drafting a player with that much talent and that much speed, especially if the doctor's clear. Niner, that's been the plan passage. Oh, I think you're talking to someone, Rob. Talk your smack, baby. Edge is the bigger need. Joe Burrow's weapons around him with a crappy O-line. Edge is the biggest need, 100%. And that's why we'll be taking an edge at pick number 4. And now it's going to be Jermaine Johnson. Sorry, guys. Jermaine Johnson's going to be a Jet. And I shouldn't really apologize because he's going to be a stud. But Jermaine Johnson's a Jet. I already saw the future. Let me know your thoughts about that. Jermaine Johnson's the pick at 4. What's your reaction? Which is the best receiver you think they should draft that will make Zach's job easier? Jameson Williams, then Garrett Wilson for me. I want KT. No, you have to protect Zach first. Better than Jermaine Johnson. I think it's Sauce. KT at 4. John will be salty. Jets forever is out of here. PC's all in. Mo says L pick. I say Gardner at 4, wide receiver at 10. I don't see this happening. There's no shot the Jets do not take at least one player in the trenches. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I accidentally left the building, but I'm back. As I was saying, you were saying Gardner at 4 and receiver at 10. I just don't see that happening for the reason of the Jets prioritizing the trenches. There's no way they're going to take a playmaker at both sides of the ball in the top 10. I think it's possible to get one of these two positions, a Gardner or wide receiver, but it's not going to be both. And I'd bet a lot of money on that. Albert with a $2 super chat. Over under 350 rush yards for Zach. It very well could be over. I think it's a big factor on how the Jets are going to utilize him schematically. Are they going to allow him to run? Because we saw Zach Wilson's athleticism. Like, he has it, right? He has it. So I'm going to say over because they got to take advantage of his mobility and his athleticism a little more. You know, but the one thing I want to say, though, they got to be careful with it. Zach Wilson's no Josh Allen. Like, he's not a power runner. He's more of the elusive guy that can make people miss in the open field. He has to make sure that he does not get hit. You know, we got to protect Zach. I'm willing to wait to start Jay Williams for 2 months knowing I have a great receiver for years to come. Facts, James. This is my mindset on Jameson Williams. He's my favorite receiver in this draft. I think he's the most talented receiver in this draft by a large margin, to be honest, if I'm being straight up with you guys. You are drafting Jameson Williams to be here for the long haul, to be here with Elijah Moore for the long term. Yes, it will stink that we're going to have to wait to see him, and he's not going to be there for training camp and all that. But look at the big picture here, man. If he's there, you take him. He's my number 1 receiver. And maybe my bias towards him is getting overshadowed, but that's what this is all about, is me, telling you how I feel. Treylon Burks is right behind Jameson Williams for me. For my top 3 goes Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, and then Drake London. That's my list. If we pass up on KT for JJ, I'll be sad. A lot of Jets fans will be sad. I'm expecting this to happen, low-key. So I'm not going to be that shocked. Because I saw this coming a while ago. Like, by the Senior Bowl, like a couple weeks after the Senior Bowl, I even said to my friend Jack, I was like, I would not be shocked if the Jets pass on Thibodeaux for Jermaine Johnson. And here we are, 2 days before the draft, and there's rumors that it actually might happen. Fernando with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. This goes a long way for the channel. He says, I think Ikey will be the pick, and he will start at right tackle. Then Fant and Becton compete for left tackle, and loser is the swing/traded. Sucks to say, I'm a KT fan. This is another gigantic possibility that Jets fans need to open up their minds to. Ikey Ekwonu could very well be the pick for the Jets if he's available. Big time. Now, could be the option, right? Ekwonu is the pick. The Jets hold on to Fant. They hold on to Becton. They go into training camp with an open competition for Becton and Fant. And the loser of it becomes a swing tackle, right? Fant loses it. He's the backup tackle behind them too. Becton loses it. He has to sit behind and prove to the coaching staff that he has a future on this team. Joe Douglas, the one thing we all know about him is he is not going to stop adding offensive linemen until this O-line is top 5 in the NFL. We are already at the top of the league in terms of payroll in the offensive line, and he's not going to stop until this offensive line is absolutely stacked. Will Jack be here for the draft? Yeah, funny thing about this real quick is Jack has work on Thursday night, and he gets out at 8 o'clock. So he said he's going to be driving so fast to my house, and he's going to be really upset if he does not make the stream in time for our pick at number 4. So I'll be on the stream by myself to start it off, and then Jack's going to show up a little late, whether it's before the Jets pick or after or during. So that's going to be funny. So make sure you tune in for the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Would be a lot of money for a swing tackle, though. I personally feel like, it's worth it. George Fant has a 1-year deal left. And I personally don't feel confident with both of our tackles staying healthy for a full season, which is why a swing tackle is so important, because one of them goes down, you plug them in, and you're set. Like, I would not be shocked if Joe Douglas continues to have like a top 5 payroll on offensive line forever, as long as he's the Jets GM. Just for that reason, depth. You want to pay big time money for depth. You want to be able to make sure the quarterback is upright and the running backs have open lanes to run with. Debo to Fins, Jets fans. Yeah, funny. You got Tyreek. You ain't getting Debo. Tell Jack don't crash. I will. I'll tell him. According to Mike Tannenbaum, Lynch's statement is GM Speak 101 and actually meant he is seeking the highest bidder for Debo. Listen, all of a sudden, we can look at Twitter and Debo Samuel's traded. Like, this is the day where it could happen. I'm not saying it's about to happen, but this is the day where it could happen. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm like refreshing Twitter, like thinking it's going to happen. There's a lot of rumors speculating about the Jets picks at 4. Oh, man. We'll see. We will see. Is Debo Samuel going to be a Jet? Because I'm so sick of this anticipation. Dude, a week from now, like not even a week, but by Saturday evening, guys, we're finally going to know who are the new Jets. No more of this Richie going live, speculating, telling you what they should do, what they shouldn't do. It's down to evaluate what they do already. Is Jack's job close to your house? Where does he work Thursday? Because he works at different locations every day. So I think it's like about a 15, 20-minute drive or something like that. So I don't know if he'll be able to get here in time. He feels like he might get to my house at 8:30. Do you guys feel like the Jets pick is going to be happening at 4? I mean, the 4th pick will be having at 8:30 because we need Jack here. Should I just pause it? Albert with a $5 super chat. Appreciate all the super chats, man. Means a lot. Thoughts on DeBrickashaw pick 15 years later when we could have had Cutler or Vernon Davis? I mean, DeBrick was like a rock. That man was a definition of an Iron Man and durability. So I'm not complaining. You know, we did a really good job. I feel like that 2009-2010 season was a big reason for DeBrickashaw Ferguson being the anchor of that O-line. So I know we could have Cutler or Vernon Davis, but hey, You can't dwell in the past. You can't change the past. What's happened. There's no reason to, go back in time and try to rewrite history here. I'm pretty happy with the Brickashaw Ferguson. He went to high school in Freeport, which is like a town or two over from me. And I always respected that. Tell Joe Douglas to wait for Jack. I'll try. Brick and Nick were the last good O-line we had. Last good draft we had, too, before last year's. Facts. Watch every top 10 team take all 10 minutes looking for trade downs. I hope. I just want the draft to happen already. And have you been watching USFL stuff? I actually have not watched any of the USFL stuff. I see some stuff on Twitter, but I've been so busy with my own stuff. I haven't really got a chance to check any of that out. Is it good? Like, is it entertaining? Let me know. Are Jets fans good with trading the 10th pick for Debo? Not every single Jets fan is okay with it, but there are Jets fans that are okay with it. I would say we're, split down the middle on this. I'm on the side of saying, yes, I would trade the 10th pick for Debo, personally. But there are Jets fans that will spam in the chat right now that they are not okay with it. And that is okay, right? We're all allowed to have our own different opinions. I think the JJ and Ikey news came out as bait so we can secure KT at 4. Thoughts? I don't know, man. It's really hard for me to believe that all these stuff is bait and smoke, because I've been feeling this way for a while before the reports came out, weeks ago, months ago, that the Jets might pass on Thibodeaux based on all the stuff off the field issues. Now, again, I am not saying that there are stuff to be concerned about Thibodeaux, because I have no right to say that because I don't know him. I've never interviewed him. But if there are a slight concern with his off-the-field stuff, all I know is the New York Jets value that stuff. They value the passion for the game. They value the love for the game of football. They value character. It's not just about talent. It's not just about what you can do athletically. It's not all about what you can do on the field. It's a culmination of all those things. What's your mindset like? Do you breathe, sleep, and eat football? Do you care for others, your teammates? Are you a me guy or are you a team guy? Right? Now, I'm just bringing all this stuff up. I can't answer those questions, but that's really it. Knicks and Nets have some same number of playoff wins. Let them know, Albert. Let them know. Sorry, Brooklyn fans. You're right back where the Knicks are at. I wonder if the reports came out in the case that KT is gone so they can say that they love JJ all along. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just really expecting JJ to be the pick. And I know that a lot of Jets fans are going to probably kill themselves. Probably get a little pretty crazy. Oh, yeah, some news happened when I was on my yoga retreat that I didn't really get to talk to you guys about. The Jets re-signing Vinny Curry is pretty dope. Hopefully Vinny Curry can do something in terms of being on the field this year. So I was excited to see what he can do. The Jets are adding depth to that D-line, man. That's for sure. I saw another hypothetical scenario this morning I want to talk about with you guys on Good Morning Football. What if the New York Jets traded up to pick number 2? They would give up the 4th pick and pick 69 for pick 2 overall, and that would be for Aiden Hutchinson. Would you guys be for that or not? I don't know if I'd be for that. If it's for Aiden Hutchinson and they really love him, then yeah, you could sacrifice pick 69 for a guy that might be a difference maker. I love all the pickers in the chat. I love it. Let's keep going. Guys, help me get to 100 likes. We have 92 likes with 217 of you guys tuning in. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button for your boy so we can get 100 plus likes, get as many Jets fans and more NFL fans in here to talk some smack. Jake is in on Hutchinson. You want to trade up for him? If it's only for 69, yes. Richie, who's the guy at 10? I think the guy at 10 is, I mean, it depends who falls because we don't know who's going to be available. But if we do not trade for Debo, I think the pick at 10 needs to be a receiver in my eyes. One of Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, Traylon Burks, Drake London. That's my thing. Or you go trenches. Say Jermaine Johnson's still there at 4. I'm sorry. Jermaine Johnson's still there at 10. And or Sauce Gardner somehow is still there. Or another defensive player. And then we can get a receiver at 35 or trade back into the first round and get a receiver. All I'm saying is we definitely need a receiver. A high-end receiver in the draft. Whether that's at 10 or moving back up into the first round. Richie, any chance the Jets take Jameson Williams and not take Drake London? I hope so. I prefer Jameson Williams over Drake London, me personally. Nothing against Drake London. I actually like Drake London a lot, and I would be happy if he's a Jet. But I prefer Jameson Williams because I feel like the speed element that he brings is absolutely what Joe Douglas has always preached about ever since he became the GM. A guy that can take the ball 80 yards to the house when the ball's in his hands. Drake London is more that, go up there, grab it, 50-50, line up in the slot even as a big guy, has decent, run after the catch ability, and he'd be a stud. He'd be a big-time red zone target as well. But I feel like in terms of scheme and in terms of the type of offense that they're trying to run here with Mike LaFleur, Jameson Williams makes way too much sense. We had so many meetings with KT. Surely they weren't for no reason. Yeah, listen, just because they had a lot of meetings doesn't mean they went well, even though there were rumors that Robert Saleh fell in love with KT. So it's going to be crazy. First of all, Thibodeaux might not even be available at 4, but if he is, I love it. If Kayvon Thibodeaux is the pick at 4, I'm all on. But at the same time, I'm not going to be shocked if he's not the pick. Pappy with a $5 super chat, a 2-month member on the channel. Thank you so much, brother. Sauce only gave up 1 catch last year, so why not? Yeah, I mean, Sauce is a generational prospect in my eyes. I just don't see the cornerback position as such a gigantic need as other parts like edge. I like Bryce Hall a lot. I like DJ Reed a lot. I like Brandon Echols. And I prefer to get a corner later on in the draft. But then I'll say this. If Sauce Gardner is the pick, I'm not going to be complaining because I love Sauce Gardner as a prospect. I'm just speaking on the mindset of where this New York Jets team is at in terms of their depth chart. Hamilton or Sauce? I would lean Sauce for sure. How crazy is the Kyle Hamilton situation? This man, just disappeared. All of a sudden, he's not even in consideration in the top 10. I had people telling me that we should draft Hamilton at 4. And I was always like, we're not drafting Kyle Hamilton at 4, guys. We're not doing it. That would be more idiotic. And now, he might not even be a top 10 pick. I haven't heard his name so long. I mean, hell, he could still go top 5. All that stuff in the media can be nonsense. He can go 3rd. We can go 5. He can go 10 to the Jets. The only way Kyle Hamilton's a Jet is at number 10. In my eyes. All right, so the latest updates on what the Jets are doing in this upcoming draft, it's pretty crazy, man. Pretty nuts. I'm hoping there could be some more breaking news about it, but there's not. I just keep seeing different things on Twitter about what the Jets are rumored to do, and it's like, come on. Let me know what the Jets are going to do, and we'll figure it out soon, guys. We're going to figure it out soon what the Jets will be doing. When do you guys think Pickens will go? I think he's going to go in the second round, early second round pick. Hamilton is going to be a stud. It's a position thing, just not of high importance. Facts. Which is a better group? CB, Hall, Reed, Eccles, Carter II, Dunner, Edge, Lawson, JFM, Curry, Martin, Huff. Remember, JFM was highest rated player on Jets defense last year. Draft great players, sauce. I still think edge is a more important need. We need a bona fide edge. We cannot bank on Lawson being the guy that we signed him to that contract based off his Achilles injury. And you also have to keep in consideration that the scheme prioritizes pass rush over corners. If you cannot get to the quarterback, the scheme falls apart, and we saw that in full swing last season. We need to get to the quarterback consistently if you want the 4-3 system to work. The 49ers fans in the chat know this more than anybody. How did they get to this Super Bowl a couple years back? Robert Saleh was their defensive coordinator, and they had an absolutely insane defensive front. And they got to the quarterback with ease. That defense was unbelievable. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan's offense has something to do with it as well, scheming Jimmy Garoppolo, making him look good. But the defensive line literally carried them to the Super Bowl. And the 49ers offensive line in the run game was absolutely dominant. And Kyle Shanahan's offensive mind as well, right? What I'm trying to say is the 49ers defense that year wasn't about the secondary. It wasn't about the corners. It wasn't about the safeties. They had good players there, but it was all about the defensive front that were able to disrupt quarterbacks and make their life a living hell. To quote Joe Douglas said, how do you take a $30 million per year wide receiver off the field? You hit the quarterback. He didn't say get a corner to lock him down, because if you give a quarterback 5 to 7 seconds to throw, you don't have any pass rush, you could be the greatest cornerback on the planet. You're not guarding a receiver for 5 or 7 seconds. Did I make my point? Now, that's not me saying cornerbacks are not, a premier position in this league, because I definitely feel like they are. But we need to stack up the D-line before we prioritize the cornerback position, in my eyes. The priority needs to be getting to the damn quarterback at a consistent level before we have any opportunity to bolster up the secondary. And hey, we did bolster up the secondary. We got DJ Reed. DJ Reed has CB1 potential, man. He balled out for the Seahawks for the past 2 years. And we still have Bryce Hall. We have Brandon Eccles having an entire season under his belt as a rookie. And Michael Carter II. And we're going to draft the corner later on in the draft to add to the unit. Cheers to that little rant. Teddy with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my man. He's giving us a quick little 2-round mock draft. KT at 4, Ebo for 10. There goes my camera. Scene at 35, Chanel at 38. Hey, man, sign me up. Where can I sign up for this, Teddy? Is there a way I can make this a reality, or is that just fantasy? Because, Teddy, I love this. We're getting our edge rusher at 4. We're getting our star receiver at 10. We're getting a safety to complement Jordan Whitehead at 35. And we're getting a linebacker for the future and Leo Chanel. I'm down. Appreciate the $5 super chat, Teddy. Who is my for sure pick at 4? I wish I had a for sure pick. My gut is telling me, and my gut could be wrong because I'm not any wizard, but my gut is telling me, and you guys are not going to want to hear this. So get your hell no Richie comments out there in the chat now before I say it. But my gut's telling me it's one of 2 players. And those 1 or 2 players is one of Jermaine Johnson and Ikey Ekwonu. I said it. That's my gut. It's one of Ekwonu and Jermaine Johnson at 4. Now let's hear it. Hell no, Richie. Marks hates me now. Will hates me now. I'm making Mo cry. But I have a feeling it's one of those two. So prepare yourself. Prepare. This is another option that I'd be open to. Imagine we traded down from 4 and we got a ridiculous haul. I'm down. Bro, you are no one, Richie. Just a kid recycling other people that do real work, takes, and points. Thank you so much for the love, bro. I never claimed to be anyone. I'm just here as a Jets fan. I'm just like any of you guys. I don't claim to be this source. I am just speaking of a perspective of a Jets fan. I am nothing more than any of you guys in the chat, and I never proclaimed to be. So I don't know where you think that I say I am anybody in this world. All I am is a Jets fan that makes YouTube videos to connect the Jets fans across the world. But I appreciate the love. Teddy with another $5 super chat. I think you're right with that. 4 for JJ is just too high for me. Ikey, I would be okay with. I think he's a stud. Yeah, Teddy, I think that is very possible to be one of those two players. And JJ is a little too high, but that's them banking on drafting him at 4 because they don't feel like he'd be available at 10. That's why that would be the case. And Ikey, I'd be okay with. I think he's a stud as well, man. People need to realize that Ekwonu is an absolute stud and stop focusing on the depth chart. We're trading 4 to a QB greedy team. LOL. JD wants 10 picks minimum in this draft and stack for next year's draft stock. Kiss Sauce KT in the 4th pick goodbye. Very possible. That's another thing that Jets fans need to prepare for the Jets to trade down a couple of times to get capital for next year's draft. For sure. That is guaranteed going to happen because we do not have a lot of capital next year. Richie is awesome, man. Passionate with a love for his team. Puts a load of work and time into his stuff. Mark, I appreciate you, my man. Love means a lot, bro. Really does mean a lot to me, bro. Yeah, don't listen to that guy, Richie. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, Jake. Will do. Appreciate you, Jake. Richie ain't wrong with the JJ or Ikey take. There'll be 2 of the better players left at 4. Got to take best player available and not just draft for need. Drafting for need leads to busts. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying like my gut tells me JJ or Ikey because that's the 2 I want. That's just me predicting it, right? Big difference. So the best part about this, guys, is we don't have to worry about the speculation anymore. In 2 days, all the answers will be everything will be finally be open. It'll be like, wow, we know who the player is for 4. JJ's an absolute stud. I'm down for JJ. JJ reminds me of a faster Sean Ellis. Good comp. Do you think we trade for Debo? I hope so. Not getting my hopes up, though. that rhymed weirdly. You can't diss my man Richie. He's got that fire 80s cap on. Appreciate you, VR. Love the support. I don't think they released the schedule yet, Willie. I thought that was in May. I mean, we have the opponents of who we're versing home and away, but we don't know exactly who and when, which weeks where the schedule is yet, I believe. Draft Ekwonu and play 6 O-linemen at all times. That's funny. Haters, welcome to Bounce. We're just trying to enjoy our team as Jets fan. Got your back, Richie. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. Richie's story for Jets Media startup is an awesome story. George, I appreciate you remembering that story. I don't even know the last time I said the story. Like, when did I tell you the story, George? Can you let me know in the chat, George? When? Because I honestly do not remember when I said my story of how this channel started and when it was and where I was at mentally and all that stuff. curious, George. Let me know when the last time I said this to you guys. Teddy says, "Hey, put on some Emore tape instead of Debo. We will be our number one trust." Yeah, I didn't realize Debo tape is just like looped. I unfortunately don't have any Elijah Moore tape, but I have a beautiful picture of him. So that will replace that because let's get hyped up for Emore. Appreciate the $5 super chat, my man. Teddy really does mean a lot. You're awesome, Richie. F the haters. Do you, fam. Gangrene for life. Appreciate you, bro. And I love your name. Return of the Jedi Rutson Scooter. I told the story like 3 weeks ago. Wow. Do I have a short-term memory loss? I don't remember saying that. That's funny. I think it was at some point during the offseason when we were thinking of things to talk about. Oh, it was probably during that crazy free agency frenzy week. You guys remember that? I was live for like 6 hours a day for a week straight. That was fun. It was also hectic. 6 hours a day for a week straight for the free agency frenzy. That's probably where I said it, George. You're right. Because I was live for a while. I was running out of things to talk about. We were talking about movies. We were talking about life. We were talking about TV shows. We were talking about my story. We were getting into your guys' stories. It's funny. Mo does not believe the false narrative of who we're interested in. When has JD let someone know? Facts, Mo. Listen, all the reports that I'm talking about, take it with a grain of salt again, because all of it could be smoke. We'll find out the truth sooner or later. Probably the cause of you going off radar. Yeah, I went off radar. I needed to take a break. I needed to take a step back. Nothing against you guys. I love you guys to death, which is why I'm here right now. But I needed to take a vacation. I gave myself a little break, and I appreciate you guys allowing that. I needed to get connect. Richie, will you be streaming during the draft? Yes, I will be streaming during the draft, baby. We'll be live here at Jets Media for all 3 days. It's gonna be a lot of fun on the channel. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'll be live like at 2 hours before the draft, probably just hyping it all up, getting a little antsy. Thursday night, Friday night as well, Saturday during the day. So I'll be live all 3 days, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Smash that like button for your boy. Appreciate you. Steaming over here in Scotland here means drunk. Rich, hope you had a great time on your retreat. It looked like a lot of fun. Thanks, Joey. I did indeed have a lot of fun on that retreat. First time in my life, actually, guys, that I got totally disconnected from the sports world. Like, my entire life, I've been wired in on Twitter, just like you guys, wired in on the sports world, what's happening. It was a really crazy experience. I was in Colorado in the mountains, just like totally disconnected from the sports world, from my home life, everything about it. And I came back home and I was like, whoa, that was nuts. It was an awesome time, man. If you guys want to check out more about that stuff, you can follow me on my personal Instagram, Richie Malora, if you're interested in that type of stuff. Joking about Richie's knowing this dude's spamming insults in the chat. Have some respect. Yeah, man, this guy, I feel bad for him, to be honest. I mean, you got a lot of hate in your life for doing that, but it is what it is. All these Jets fan YouTubers have similar takes. He doesn't copy anything. Get over it, you loser. Oh, I didn't realize what you were saying. My bad. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's amazing how many holes we have addressed on this team this year. We will be much improved. I agree, Dave. Like, if you look at what the Jets did in free agency, it really opens you up to the potential of what we could accomplish in the draft, right? Tight end was a gigantic need. All of a sudden, it's not a need anymore. Offensive guard was a need. It's not a need anymore. Cornerback was a gigantic need. It's not as much as a need anymore with the signing of DJ Reed. Safety was a need. We got half of it. I think we're going to draft another safety. But we did a lot of great things in free agency, and I feel like the draft is where it all begins. Louis says, keep up the good work, Richie. Forget what that pump said. You're the only Jets YouTuber that does live events for all the major news. Haters are going to hate. Facts, man. I don't let the haters get to me. It's all good. I appreciate all the support, guys. That's the key to life. If you let any negative energy or anything that brings you down get to your head, you're not living your best life. And you can even compare that to sports, right? We can talk about these athletes. Talk about Zach Wilson, for an example, right? There's a lot of Zach Wilson haters out there. There's a lot of haters for every single person in this world. So if you allow the haters to get to your mind and you allow them to bring you down, then you're not accomplishing anything in life. The people that succeed, the people that get to the top are the ones that can deal with the negative energy, the ones that can deal with the haters and put them to the side. Because that's what it's all about. Because no matter what you do in life, whatever job you might have, there will always be somebody trying to bring you down. And it's your job to make sure that you focus on what yourself is doing, and you focus on the positive stuff, and you just keep moving forward. And you can say that with athletes. The ones that get inside of their own head and the hate gets to them, they don't succeed. They do not reach their full potential because mentality is such a gigantic part of sports where it doesn't matter how physically gifted you are. You could be 10 times more physically talented than that man, but that man is more mentally tough and he can deal with the pressure, which makes him look like better on the field. But the other guy that's more physically talented is letting the hate get to his head and he's overthinking things and everything's all over the place. That's the mindset you need to have, not only with an athlete, but in life in general, no matter what you do in life, right? Welcome to my TED Talk, but that's really my mindset, and that's my advice to anybody. If there's anybody trying to bring you down, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's someone that you just know of, do not allow them to bring you down because then they will be succeeding. So I appreciate all you guys. I really do, because this community that we have here on Jets YouTube with me, Jake, Jets Talk 24/7, with Matt O'Leary, Green Bean, Jets Central, Jets Today. I'm probably missing a bunch, but it's so awesome that we have this Jets community where everybody's all friends. Everybody is all connected, right? It's not a competition on Jets YouTube. We're not all like, oh, this guy's better than this. We're all in this together. We're all collaborating with each other. We're all on each other's channels. It's a great time, man. I really do appreciate it. Now, to change the subject, how do you like your coffee? I like my coffee the only way coffee should be drinking. And I actually have a cup right here that's on my little heating pad. Now that you say, I'm going to take a sip. And yes, it's not cold. It's hot. It's on a little warming thing. It's black coffee, baby. I don't know if you can see it, but it's black coffee only. I like my coffee black. Oh, that's so funny. Richie sounds like he's making a great teacher. Preach, brother. Appreciate you, George. That's real shit right there. Yeah, I don't really go deep into that type of stuff, but I felt the need to. Sometimes you got to break free of the sports talk and talk about real life shit. That's what I had the need to do. But guys, 2 more days until the NFL draft. I appreciate all you guys tuning into the channel, showing all the support and love, because there's a lot of more crazy stuff happening on this channel leading up into the draft. And it's going to be a pretty wild couple of days, man. Couple of days. How do I like my eggs? I like eggs every single way. We're getting into like some non-Jet stuff. I'm down to talk some Jets and some real life stuff. I like my eggs over easy, scrambled, sunny side up, Hard-boiled. Egg salad. I'm an egg guy. Big time egg guy. AM says, coffee on me. Keep up the good work, dude. Appreciate you, AM. Let's go grab a cup of Joe. I'm low-key addicted to coffee. It's kind of bad. You can see I'm a little wired right now. I love my coffee. Appreciate the $5 super chat, AM, and I'm down to take you up on that offer for coffee one day. Dallas with a $10 super chat says, hey, buddy, do you think the Jets would package the 4th pick if the players the Jets want at 4 is no longer on the board for a Debo trade? Just a thought. I appreciate the $10 super chat, Dallas James Santana. Means a lot to the channel. And I do think that if the Jets get an offer for the 4th pick, that is a ridiculous haul. They're 100% going to be all over it. Joe Douglas is going to want to add capital. He understands there's a lot of holes in this team. He also understands that there's not a lot of capital in next year's draft. We do not have 2 firsts that we're all used to having the past 2 years. We do not have 2 seconds. So next year, I'm expecting Joe Douglas to really allocate a lot of those picks throughout the draft this upcoming weekend to trade back and acquire more capital. And we could also, like you said, Dallas, use that capital to get Deebo Samuel if we really played our cards right. So I appreciate the $10 super chat, my man. It really does mean a lot to the channel, big time. And I feel like you really bring up a good point, because if we trade back from 4, and if the players the Jets want 4 are no longer on the board, and we can just use those picks to flip for a Deebo Samuel trade, sign me up. I want Deebo. Solid statements on life, Richie. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Richie, Montauk or Hamptons guy? Sag Harbor. I don't know. I don't really go. When I go out east, it's more the Hamptons, I would say. I went to Montauk when I was really young, but I haven't really been there in a while. Who's the Zach Wilson hater here? I don't know. Probably some. There's haters for everything. Richie's sitting here waiting for Deebo to Jets news to break. Nolan, you caught my bluff. You caught me. That's exactly what I'm doing. Evan does not want Ekwonu. Listen, man, Ekwonu's a great player. I understand that he might not be a position of need right now, but he might need to be a position of need in the future. David follows up saying, does not make sense to draft Ekwonu with the Tomlinson signing. Coffee junkie here too, bro. My blood type is French roast. Yeah, bro. Dark roast is my go-to. The darker, the better. The bolder, the better, baby. Gotta go. You're awesome, Richie. See you draft day, and salutes to our Gangrene family. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. I'll see you on draft night. Let's go, Jets. It's gonna be crazy, bro. Sauce is overrated. I draft him at 10. I don't think he's gonna be available at 10. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Did you see the clip of Zach Wilson golfing and people are making a big deal out of it? They make big deals out of everything. You know what I mean? It's whatever. It just doesn't really affect me. Actually, I don't consider Sauce overrated, but I don't think we need him because of how the defense works for us. I agree. I love Sauce Gardner as a prospect. I just don't see him as a fit and a need right now for the Jets. That makes sense? Does that make sense? I think I made sense there. Oh, man. I don't even know what else to say, guys. It's like to the point where I am like so tired of speaking on all this hypothetical stuff. And I just want to like give my grades of the draft and all that stuff. That's all I want to do. Sauce is very, very good. Don't think he's overrated. Yeah, I don't think he's overrated either. So JD gave some nice hints recently what he might pick. He says picks in the top 2 rounds, if not 3, are expected to hopefully start. There you go. What positions have open slots for a starter? Good question, Jaw. Edge, for sure. Wide receiver, for sure. Safety, for sure. Now, corner, it's not like, if we do draft a corner in the first round, he's going to start. But it's not like we desperately need a starter there, right? Does that make sense? So if 3 are expected to hopefully start, I think it would be edge, receiver, and safety. Salah also said if quarterback doesn't hitch rush, doesn't matter. Average sack is approximately 3 seconds. Average throw is 2.5 seconds. No sacks if you don't get good cornerback play. I want edge at 10, but no edge better than Sauce is there at 4. I see you, Harold. Hey, best case scenario to put 2 worlds together for the Sauce people and the edge people. How about getting Sauce at 4 and Jermaine Johnson at 10? But then I'm like, shit, we need a receiver. How about we trade up for 35 to get one? I'm down. Favorite Jet game this past season or of all time? R&R, love everything you do, Richie. Jets family. Thank you, man. Appreciate the love. Means a lot. David does not want Debo. No. No Debo for David. My friend manages the Jersey Mike's in Flora Park, and ZW comes in pretty regularly. Zach is a turkey and provolone guy with salt and vinegar. This is awesome. I want to know more details of what Zach Wilson orders at Jersey Mike's. All right, Niner Vance. I see you in the chat, but when you start talking smack and you start looking at box scores, that's when I know you do not look at Zach Wilson's highlights or in lowlights or film in general. You cannot, if you are a player, if you're a fan and you look at stats and that's how you evaluate a player, you're wrong. You got to look at the big picture. You got to look at the highs and the lows and put it all together. Now, if you look at the stats, did Zach Wilson have a terrible year? 100%. There's no denying that. But if you break it down and provide some context to it, Zach Wilson, the first half of the year, had 9 turnovers, 9 interceptions the first 5 games. So all 9 of those 11 picks came in the first 5 games. He gets injured. He comes back, and everything around him gets worse. Receivers are injured. Running backs are injured. Offensive line's injured. Zach Wilson's back. Everything is developing under Mike LaFleur. And all of a sudden, Zach Wilson finishes off the year with a 9 touchdown to 2 interception ratio going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. So there's no denying that he did not show any promise. And there's no denying that he did not take a big-time step and show progression as a rookie. So you saying Zach played and was horrible, you were right in the first half of the year. He did not play horrible in the second half of the year. So it's up to him to be consistent in year number 2. That's my point of when people say, if you look at Zach Wilson's numbers, he was atrocious. You can't just look at the numbers. You got to dive deep into the film. There's a lot of things that factor in. Do you have any idea how many times, and I'm sure Jets fans will know this, how many times Zach Wilson should have had a touchdown, but the receiver was tackled at the 1-yard line? He easily could have 15 touchdowns. If you look at all the tape throughout all 17 games or all 13 games Zach played, the amount of times that players either dropped the pass in the end zone or caught it and was just down at the 1-yard line is ridiculous. If you want to talk about stats, right? You got to provide context to the stats. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. When you're providing stats, you got to look at the big picture, in my opinion. That goes for everybody. All right. I see super chat. Daniel with a $5 super chat. Keefe, Utah is a sleeper that we need to grab. Check it out. All right. I see you. Let's look them up. There's a lot of sleepers in this draft that I'm excited for that are going to be sleepers. And that's another thing I want to bring up, guys, is expect a lot of players to be drafted by the Jets that absolutely nobody expected. Nobody. So that's something I want to make sure that you guys are aware of, that there's going to be a lot of players that we're going to draft and we're not going to know who he is. Number one, done a lot of homework on. So expect the unexpected. Now I see Trey Lance and Zach Wilson debating in the chat. I'm sorry I had to spark that. But yeah, Daniel, I appreciate you telling me about a sleeper potentially. Appreciate the $5 super chat as well, Daniel. Zach had very little help. That is 100% a fact. Oh, yeah. Zach Wilson was also the rookie of the week. How many times? 2 or 3? So I guess he showed no promise. Hey, man, there's no need to attack Niner Vance. He just gave his opinion, and I gave my opinion to him. You gotta, Jets fans, we need to ground ourselves as well. We need to remember that Zach Wilson has not proved anything yet. That's a fact. Now, we cannot be short-minded, and we cannot just go over the top and say, Zach Wilson is guaranteed the franchise guy. He proved it in year one, because he did not prove it in year one. He struggled, but he also showed promise. And there's context to the situation around Zach Wilson. That was my entire point that I tried to bring up, that you can't just look at the box score. You got to dive deep into the film and look exactly what happened, right and wrong. There's some very good O-linemen in this draft, even a few from smaller colleges. People forget that some Hall of Fame players have come from small colleges, LOL. Don't always come from SEC schools. Hell yeah, man. There's a lot of guys that Joe Douglas has been doing homework on for sure that will be targeted in the mid-rounds on the O-line. No doubt. We could either draft a safety, a center is what I meant to say, or a swing tackle. David is obsessed with Sauce's length, speed, and physicality. Me too. All right, guys. So let's go to Twitter real quick and see if there's any news that we can talk about, because we've been live for under 2 hours. And I've been having a lot of fun with you guys. All right. Any other crazy rumors surfacing? Well, this is a non-Jets report. The Eagles are open to listening to offers for Jalen Reagor. What a terrible pick that was for the Eagles. Now, oh yeah, let's talk about the New York Jets picking up Quentin Williams' 5th-year option. That's a great move. I mean, it's not breaking news. We kind of knew this already when Joe Douglas announced it. But I think Quentin Williams, low-key, could be the X factor of the entire Jets defense. Because there's no denying that Quentin has not reached the potential that we expected him to. But if he ever – and Quentin Williams would be the first one to tell you that he did not reach his potential yet. So we'll see if he does. But yeah, that's really the only latest news coming out of the Jets world. Yeah, so If anything you guys want me to talk about before we end off the stream, let me know. Any Jets Q&As will be appreciated right now. Do you think the Jets trade down for pick 10 or trade up into the first round using second and third rounders? I think both of them are likely. If I had to guess, I think both could happen as well. They could trade back from 10 and then trade back in. But I do feel like the Jets trading back into the first round is very likely because of the capital that we have at 35 and 38 is really easy to package up and move back in. Another sleeper O-line is Cole Strange. Big athletic O-lineman. He played very well at Senior Bowl. For sure. I'm expecting the Jets to get an O-lineman later on in the draft. No doubt about it. Man, you guys are violent in the chat right now. You guys are funny. Would you guys prefer the Jets trade back from 10 or stay put at 4 and 10 and then trade back into the first round and come away with 3 first-round picks? Scott with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. He says, good stuff. Going to be a good year for us. Second year in the system. Zach and the offense is going to explode. Facts, man. This is the optimism, positive energy I love to see from Scott Wilson. Appreciate the donation, my man. And I agree. I think continuity matters. I think people need to realize that having the same system with the same coaching staff, the same quarterback, with the same returning players on offense, we didn't lose anybody on offense besides Jameson Crowder and Keelan Cole, right? Everybody's coming back. Braxton Berrios is coming back. The whole O-line was returning, and we added to it. We have 2 new pieces at the tight end room. That's going to be awesome. So continuity is going to be huge, and I think that's a really big reason why I'm excited to see what this offense can do. And I feel like it's a really good opportunity for the offense to take a big step forward. I'm not expecting it to become a top 10 offense right away and year number 2 in the system, but I think they could be top 20, top 15, realistically speaking, right? I don't want to set the bar too high. All right, so you guys are just like, there's nothing in the chat right now besides just fighting. So I don't know what to talk about. I pretty much broke down like everything on the stream already that I wanted to talk about. Talk about all the rumors, all the reports, everything regarding it. Here's something that I did not see. Let's listen to this.
Some offer coverage. Just check with somebody involved. I was told that the 49ers definitely do not want to trade him, but they believe they're at least willing to listen to some offer coverage. Could deepen the intrigue in the next 48 hours leading up to the first round of the draft. I am told the New York Jets have some interest. So the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers all have some interest. Some of those teams believe that the 49ers will not deal him, that he means too much to their offense, but they're at least going to try. And I continue to hear that Deebo Samuel is dug in here, that the usage of him as a running back and a wide receiver and the wear and tear is only part of the issue. Just check.
All right, so Jerry Fowler on Get Up on ESPN had something interesting to say this morning, saying that 49ers are still willing to listen to offers, and he reiterated the teams of interest, which was the New York Jets, Detroit Lions, and the Green Bay Packers. So seems like the Deebo Samuel situation is going to be getting heated up. Oh, man. Is Deebo really going to be traded or not? Richie, I hope that we have 2 first-rounders again in 2023. How do we do that? The only way we do that, Hunter, is if we trade back in this year's draft, and we trade back pretty far. We need to move back from 4 back into the teens and pick up that team's extra first next year. I think that's the only way that happens. or trade back from 10. The only way we're getting a second first-round pick next year, again, is if we move down in the draft this year. Because I don't think there's anybody on the roster that the Jets will be interested in trading away for a pick. Another safety I looked into was Nick Cross out of Maryland. Yeah, I like him as well. There's so many safeties. It's a very deep safety class as well. Sorry, my guy, but opinion is to trade up for KT. I don't think you need to trade up for KT. I feel like you have a better shot of just getting him at 4. This is an option, Hunter. We could trade Van Roten for a first. We could do that. I love this player as well. I would love him in the second round. Can we just trade pick 10 for Deebo already? I hope so. That would be fire. Who's your favorite mid-round pick? My favorite mid-round pick would have to be Kobe Bryant. That's with the scenario that we don't take a corner early. I like Kobe Bryant's game. I feel like he'd be a perfect piece to add to the young secondary that we have. And hey, he was teammates with Sauce, by the way. Richie, you were right about Zach having more touchdowns those times receivers failed to bust into the end zone when so close. Deebo will be that guy making it to the end zone. Insane yak. Facts. The amount of times, it drives me crazy. Zach should have had like 14, 15 touchdowns, but instead he finished with 9 because of all the times that our receivers either dropped the ball. Remember that Ryan Griffin against Houston? I'll never forget that. Zach Wilson had a beautiful throw, rolling to his left, throwing across his body, wide open in the back of the end zone. He drops the ball. James Crowder got tackled at the 1. Keelan Cole had that amazing throw from Zach, and he just fell. Should have been a touchdown. A lot of different scenarios that comes to mind. By the way, Niners would absolutely not trade Deebo to Green Bay since they are rivals, so the only 2 options are the Jets and Lions. Good point, Joey. Who's my favorite player in the draft? Limitless. I do feel like you need to change that pro pick. It's just a little outdated. It is a fire pick, not going to lie, but a little outdated. But who's my favorite player? This is a good question. Jameson Williams is probably my favorite player. He's been for a while. And I'll die on that hill. I think a 38 this year and a first next year is a better Deebo trade for us. 10 is important for us to get this program built. This could get it done. I just don't want to give up. I don't want to go into next year without a first-round pick. That doesn't sit with me right at all. I'd rather give up the 10 this year, still have our pick next year, and we also have a first this year already, Or, we have 2 first rounds this year, so we can say, like, all right, we have our 10th this year. That's basically our first next year, I guess. Do not even worry. Elijah Moore is going absolutely nowhere. Please, don't even think that's going to happen. Olave greater than Wilson. Interesting take. Garrett Wilson is him. JD fleeces. He does not get fleeced. Herndon and Cashman for picks. Darnold, Adams. GMs are weary of doing deals with JD, for sure. Alrighty, guys, we're going to end the stream here. We've been live for 2 hours on Jets Media. This was a crazy live stream filled with a lot of fun stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the chat about what you thought of the stream. If you're not already, hit that like button for your boy. I really appreciate that. We were going to finish off with just under 150 likes. Love it. So, guys, all the support on the channel means a lot. Expect more content coming your way leading up into the draft. And I'm excited, man. This is a really good time. Jets fans, we have every single right to be excited for the draft. We really have to understand that this is an opportunity that could absolutely alter the absolutely alter this franchise future if Joe Douglas plays his card right, which I think he will do. So, guys, I really do appreciate all the support. It means a lot to me. Everyone in the chat, thank you for giving me all your opinions on the Jets and of myself. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all the opinions from left and right, or up and down, whatever you want to call it. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to help me get to my next goal of 11K. And I'll catch you guys in my stream tomorrow. I'll be live with DJ Bienemy at noon. So mark your calendars. We're going to get a Jets insider on the show to talk about what the Jets will be doing in the draft, which is 2 days away. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go, Jets. Peace.